second for YouTube to go live as well, because I am going to go live on Instagram and on YouTube as well. So hi everyone, how are you? This is Arume. Thank you for joining me today. It's not really a great day to be doing this because this is a really difficult time that we are all going through. We're all going through this individually, but together. So I am trying to do what I can in my own way, using the skills and the tools that I have to assist folks who are out there. Not everybody can be out on the front lines. Not everybody has the medical capacity. Not everyone is a paramedic. So, an EMT person, a nurse, kudos to those guys. Those guys, the ones are police officers, ambulance, fire rescue, all of those guys, all of our scientists, the health practitioners, the medical doctors, those guys are really doing it, and they're putting themselves in harm's way every day, going out there and tending to COVID-19 patients. So my heart goes out to everyone who's currently sick and who's struggling with a loved one that's dealing with this crisis. We're all dealing with it differently, individually. For me to be stuck in my home, that's a small price that I have to pay when other people are doing other things. So I'm doing my share, what I can do to try and help. First of all, keep my distance. Don't go out there to spread the disease. I'm staying indoors. And I hope I know we will get through this, okay? Yes, we will. We absolutely will get through this. But what I really want to talk about today, to share with you guys, is some of the troubling things that are going on with the stimulus programs that the government have put in place to try and help people get back on their feet. There's so many people struggling, so many individuals, so many small businesses. We're all in this together, and what's going on. So on April 15th, the IRS started issuing stimulus checks, and people were getting direct deposits in their accounts. That's great. Kudos to the IRS. But on the other hand, they're still, they've really only started the process. Their website is crashing like crazy. Folks are not able to check on the status of their checks. I know they cannot get every check out the door like on day one, so they have to do things in sequence. But we're getting calls from clients, from customers, folks who are trying to find out, where's my rebate check? Do I qualify? Am I going to get it? I haven't gotten it. My neighbor has gotten it. My friend has gotten it. My coworker has received it. Where's mine? So all we could say is you have to be patient. If you qualify for the check, for the stimulus check, you're going to get it. It might take a little while to get to you, but the IRS, they're working on it. So the first thing you want to try and do is figure out if you qualify for it. To qualify for the stimulus check, you have to have made, first of all, you have to be a U.S. citizen or a resident. And then as an adult or taxpayer, you have to have made under $75,000 AGI, adjusted gross income. If your adjusted gross income is under $75,000, no questions asked, you get that $1,200 check. Then the question begins, how am I going to get it? Am I going to get a direct deposit, or is it going to come by snail mail? Who wants snail mail when we want cash in our hands today, right? So if you had direct deposit in 2018, or if you've already filed in 2019, you should have received your stimulus check by now. If you're on Social Security and the government has your direct deposit information, your uncle, your aunts, your mom, your dad, they're all getting their stimulus check if they qualify. If you owe the tax liability in 2018, they're going to go through those folks who had a refund, first of all, before they get to your own scenario, before they start to analyze whether you qualify for the rebate check and whether you're going to get it. So be patient. Yes, you can keep checking the IRS check to see, if you qualify and if you are going to get this check. But their website, it's getting bombarded with lots of people, trying to find out the same thing. And they're not able to deliver right now. I know they're going through a lot of things because they're doing a lot of stimulus packages all at the same time. Most of their field offices are closed. Their employees are also working from home, except for some essential workers who are working on site, but their offices are really close to the public for now. And even their telephone lines are down. There is no communication with the IRS, so you can't call them to find out what's going on. So that's it for the stimulus check. But if you haven't registered, if you don't have direct deposits, if your direct deposit information is not with the IRS and you used to get paper checks with your refund, yes, it's possible for you to get direct deposit. There's a website on the IRS website. You just go to the irs.gov. It's right on the main page. It says on there, if you want to put in your information so that you can get your stimulus check via the direct deposit, that's something that you can do today. You can do that right now. After this, after you're done with me, you can go jump on the computer and log on to irs.gov, okay, and get that information to them so you can get that stimulus check. Okay, so that's it for the stimulus check. And, let me see if I am having some questions over here. See if I can get it. Oh, yes. Okay, so they're telling me, oh, right, good. So getting some folks that are coming in. So come on in. If you have a question, go ahead and pop it into the chat box and so that I can go ahead and assist you with those questions that you have. So one of the questions that I received was, okay, so I want to take advantage of the retirement contribution and contribute to the maximum $6,000, under 50, to contribute to my retirement account so I can reduce my tax liability. However, because of the stimulus, current situation, I'm not really sure if that's something I want to do. Well, you don't have to make that decision right now, and you don't have to file your taxes right now because we all got a deferral. Taxes are not due until July 15th, so we didn't have to file April 15th. So if you're not sure and you need that cash right now, you can hold on to it. Don't make that contribution. There is no rush for you to file your taxes, your tax returns, unless you're getting a tax refund and you need the money, which we all do. So if you need to get your money right away, absolutely, then go ahead and file. But if you do the calculation and you want to contribute $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, you want to contribute the max that you can deduct, $5,000 if you're an individual, $6,000. You don't have to contribute it all if you think it's going to affect your cash flow. If you're not sure you're going to be able to go back to work soon, you really can't count on that unemployment. If you're getting unemployment, what can you do? You don't have to make that decision. You can decide how much you want to contribute, take that tax break that you're going to get from your tax liability, and then wait until July 15th before you make that contribution, okay? So you do not have to make that contribution immediately. You do not have to make that contribution now. So just keep that in mind, okay? Now, moving on, another question that I have is, what about paying taxes? If I owe taxes, if I have a tax liability, do I have to pay that tax liability now? No, the IRS, they also defer the payment date for that tax liability. You don't have to pay what you owe the IRS until July 15th. And then in addition, if you are a self-employed person, a sole proprietor, or you have other businesses in which you usually have owed taxes. Anytime you owe more than $1,000 at the end of the year, you're required to make estimated taxes. So estimated payment. So estimated payment so that you will not get a tax penalty at the end of the year. So If you are one of those taxpayers where you have to make an estimated payment, you don't have to worry about the first quarter and the second quarter. That's the previous payments that used to happen on April 15th as well as June 15th. Those two payments are now pushed back to July 15th. Okay, so there's no need for you to rush and make that payment. Okay, so what are the plans? What are your options? You know what the unemployment numbers are. So many Americans, so many people have filed for unemployment, and a lot of people are getting denied because, the problem is that as independent contractors, as self-employed folks, the gig workers, that group of people previously were not in the employment pool, so they were not paying into the unemployment system. So there's no record that anyone has contributed to that unemployment, so they're not able to tap into the resources that the government has, and they get denied. So what are your resources? What can you do? The government came up with some other programs, some other stimulus program. So there's the EIDL. That's a program in which you were able to apply for a loan. And previously, because the government, the SBA, Small Business Administration, and the banks, everybody, they keep changing the rules on taxpayers every single day. So when this EIDL program first came out, this is one of the programs that's supposed to, assist small businesses with loans. They said that a small business, you could get up to 10,000 advance, and this was really a grant. It was 10,000 of an advance. It was a grant, and you could get that money to help keep your business going, whatever that business it was that you were doing. Now, a lot of people have applied for this program, and SBA, they've changed the rules. So now they've now made it so that you get $1,000 for every one person, for every one employee in your business. So if you're a sole proprietor, you will get $1,000 of advance of grant instead of getting that 10,000, which was previously. Okay, if you have two people in your business, you get $2,000 up to a maximum of $10,000 for each person, and then you can get the additional loan that you qualify for. But that was not the sweetest program. What is the sweetest program that everybody is interested in? That's the PPP program. Have you heard about that program? You must have heard about that program by now, because everybody wanted a piece of this program. And this was a program that was really meant to help small businesses. This was a program that was passed by Congress. COVID-3, I believe it was. The first bill that Congress passed was to, what was the first bill that Congress passed? I think that was there was something about the virus. This was to contain the virus. I believe it was. Let me just take a look at yes, this was to look for a vaccine for the virus, right? That was the first thing. The second bill that was passed was about the health issues related to COVID-19. And then the third bill that was passed was this stimulus package to help businesses and to also put cash in the hands of individuals. Okay, so now what's going on? So with the PPP program, the money ran out almost immediately. So let me tell you a little bit about the PPP program. Okay, you just give me 1 second right here. Let me get that for you. So what is the PPP program? The PPP program was a program that really says that it's run by the SBA, right? This was almost a $349 billion program. You could apply for a loan up to $10 million, up to $10 million. And the application you had to be in business, you have to have a business, you have to have employees, or you have to be a sole proprietor, but it's mainly for businesses. Individuals, that was a different program. It was the stimulus check in which every individual received $1,200, and then they receive $500 for each dependent that that they had. And then for every, oh, I didn't mention this previously, for every $100 that you are above the your threshold, if you're single, that's $75,000. If you're married, double that. For every $100 that you're above the threshold, your rebate check was reduced by $5. Okay. So the PPP program was really targeted at small businesses with employees up to 500 employees. So this program was to, the proceeds of the program could be used for specific things. This program was to retain employees. That's why it's called the Paycheck Protection Program. So basically, it's calculated by looking at your average monthly payroll, and then your additional benefits like health insurance and retirement benefits. Those costs are added onto that. This is just top level. Those costs are added onto your calculation to see how much you qualify for. Now, the program can become 100% forgivable grant if you use it for the appropriate things. That's again is payroll, utilities, mortgage interest, rent. So really, really specific. But the main criteria was that you had to retain your employees. So now it gets interesting, right? So the program, you could hire up to, or you could qualify for up to $10 million for this program. And again, this program was limited. It was restricted to small businesses. Well, I have to tell you, what's going on is that some big businesses have hijacked the program. Yes, I said some big businesses have hijacked the program, and they have taken money from small businesses that are trying to want to keep their businesses open. How can you, first of all, I think that Congress was like totally wrong on this. First of all, how do you equate a business that has 500 employees at the same and put them on the same level with a business with 30 employees, 20, 10, 5, or a single self-employed business? How can you put those businesses in the same bucket? That's what Congress did. That is what they did. How can anybody do that? How is the small business supposed to go and fight with the banks to get in the game? Once the floodgates is open, they're already left behind. Okay, so this program, the application opened up to the public, to businesses on April 3rd, was when it first opened up to all small businesses, or rather the main small businesses, corporations, partnerships, S-Corp, LLCs. It did not include self-employed or independent contractors. Well, would you know that some big businesses, under the guise of being a small business, because they qualify under another loophole, an exception that Congress put, because everybody is rightly concerned about restaurants and the food industry, about them going out of business. So there was a caveat in the bill that made an exception that did not put a limit to the number of employees that a food and beverage industry that they could apply for the program. Well, unfortunately, some people have taken really, really horrible advantage of this program. And this is in the news right now, so I'm not telling you anything that's a secret. The main culprit right now, and I know there are lots of them, there are a lot more of them out there. For right now, only one person has reported, has released this data. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Have you been to that restaurant? Well, I've been there a long, long time ago, but I'm not going to be going back. Ruth's Steakhouse. Do you know how many employees they have? Over 5,000. or about 5,000. Do they qualify as a small business? Well, apparently they were able to qualify for the program because they are a food and beverage business. So this program, this company, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, it's so crazy, isn't it? Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, they got $20 million. $20 million is stimulus money. Think about that for a minute. So yes, the program said you could get a maximum of 10 million from the program. So how did they get $20 million? Well, two of their companies applied. You know, they have restaurants all over the place. So two of their chain restaurants applied and they got $10 million each. $10 million each. This is so bad. Do you know $10 million each for two restaurants? It's actually it's the same restaurant, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Do you know how many real small businesses could have taken advantage of that $10 million? How many barber shops? How many nail salons? How many mom and pop grocery stores? How many pizza shops, right? Or Chinese restaurants, takeout joints. Those are food and beverage industries that do not hire 5,000 people. Or your tattoo shop down the road, your office printing shop down the road, your hardware store, your local hardware store, your automobile store, those guys who are the bread and butter of our economy, they have all been shut out of this program. Do you know that only 5% of real small businesses got some of that grant, got some of the PPP money? Let me go back to that 10 million for a minute. So one company got $20 million. Let's just stick to that 10 million for a minute. If a company, a single entity, a single business gets 10 million, let's say this small businesses, most small businesses do not qualify for that kind of money, okay? None of my clients qualify for $1 million. Let's not even go there. Let's just say for a minute that the small business qualifies. After doing their calculation, they are taking into calculation in their payroll, their benefits, health insurance, and all of that. They qualify for 100,000 of grants of loan from the PPP program. Do you know how many small businesses could have used that $10 million? 100. That's 100 small businesses. Okay. So let's say, well, $100,000. Maybe you're saying, well, my business doesn't qualify for $100,000. I only employ maybe 20 people. When I do that calculation, I don't come up with 100. Maybe, okay, let's say you come up with $50,000. Your business qualifies for a $50,000 loan, which you would hope you want to become a $50,000 grant. How much could that $10 million have covered for businesses in the same scenario under that 50,000 eligibility amount? Well, 200. Think of it. One company got what could have helped 200 small businesses. That's 200 small businesses. Okay, so you're saying $50,000. Well, my business doesn't qualify for $50,000 of loan. Well, maybe you're a gig worker, right? You're a sole proprietor. You are an independent contractor. you could qualify for $20,000. So if you make 100,000 in sales, or you have 1099s worth 100,000, that's the maximum you can collect for that. You can base your calculation for each person. You do the math. You don't have to do the math. You do the math, and it is, the average is about 8,000 a month. Your average payroll will come down to about $8,000 a month. So the calculation is based on 2 times 5 of your average monthly payroll. So let's say just say, to round it down or round it to a nice number, you qualify for $20,000. How many similar businesses like you would have benefited from that $10 million? 500. 500 small businesses, 500 gig workers, 500 independent consultants, 500 self-employed people. Okay? The personal trainer, the physical therapist, the lawnmower, the landscaper, all of these businesses that could have used these resources, they got shut out of the program. So many businesses did not even get a chance to put in their applications. Why? Why did this happen? Why did Congress do this? And why did the SBA interpret it this way? And why did the banks cater to only their big clients? First of all, they came up with all these ridiculous rules. They have to have a business relationship with you. If you don't bank with them, if you don't have a business bank, first of all, even if you bank with them, but you had only a personal account, you wouldn't be able to apply for the program, because they said you needed to have a business account. Now, for you small businesses, for guys that are gig workers, this is a point in time that says, if you're running a business, you really need to get your act together. And this is where you need to reach out to your accountant, your CPA, reach out to me, reach out to somebody to help you get your business structure together. Because the reason why some of these small businesses are having this issue is because they didn't have a good structure in place. But apart from that, this program is still very, very flawed. Okay. So let me just go back to this 1 second. $1 million. That's $1 million. No, it's actually not $1 million. It's 10. They got $10 million. They got $20 million. But how could Congress have written such a bill? You're giving $10 million to one entity. And then let's say it's a small business, it's a gig worker that doesn't make a lot of money. Maybe they've been running, and so they only qualify for $10,000 of grant of the stimulus money. $10 million versus $10,000 of stimulus money. How many gig workers will this program help? That's $1,000. 1,000 gig workers. 1,000 gig workers that this program could have helped by giving that $10 million. This is so bad. I mean, how could Congress not have seen this coming? How could you guys not have seen this coming? Really? How could you not have seen this coming? You did not put everyone in an equal playing field. You were putting the small guys in the boat with the big sharks who got first dibs with the banks. The banks have all these big clients that they give preferential treatment to, and because of some definition, they refer to them as a small business. In my books, a business that employs 400 employees, that business is not a small business. Please, Don't give it some theoretical definition and call it a small business. It's not a small business. Okay? So Congress did everybody, did the small business folks a disservice by putting them in the same program. They did not have a fighting chance at all. There was no way they could have gotten access to that building. Yes, some small businesses have gotten funded. Who are the small businesses that have gotten funded? Those are the small businesses that bank with regional banks. Those are the small businesses who have applied through regional banks, through credit loan facilities, not the small businesses that apply with the big banks. All the big banks, yeah, they were actually, could you believe this? The big banks, they were actually calling, soliciting their bigger clients to come and apply for this program, even though the bigger clients did not need the money because their businesses are doing okay. Yes, they might suffer some economic or financial challenges, but not on the level of, the small businesses. The mom and pop business will close faster than those big guys. The mom and pop guys, those are the guys that are going to declare bankruptcy. Those are the guys that cannot, keep their doors open, keep their businesses open, keep their, staff employed, put food on their table, pay their rent. Look at this. So I got I sent I called, I did what my Congress people told me to do, call your mortgage company, ask them, to, if you can stop paying your mortgage or do a forbearance, find out what kind of programs that they have for you. So I got this response back from my mortgage company. They said that they gave me how many options? They gave me 4 options. One was this is something that you can do if you can't pay your rent or pay your mortgage. They could give you offer you a reinstatement plan, so you pay all past due amounts in a single lump sum payment. If you cannot pay 1 month's mortgage or 1 month's rent, tell me how are you going to be able to pay 3 months or 4 months all at once when you have not been working, your clients have not been coming in the door, you've not been selling any books, you've not been performing whatever services you perform. How are you going to pay 3 months of rent or mortgage in 1 month? That's the reinstatement plan. The repayment plans, you pay all past due amounts together with your regular payments over an extended period of time. So this allows you to bring your mortgage current without having to pay that huge lump sum payment. So, that's a much friendlier plan. And then they have the forbearance plan, which allows you to make reduced payments, or you don't have to pay any payment at all for a specific period of time, up to maybe 6 months or 3 months. They were offering me 3 months. And then, they're like, oh, is it going to be reported to the credit agencies? Is it going to damage your credit? That's something you want to know? No, it doesn't do that. It's not going to damage your credit. So the other thing I was saying is, so if you can do that, you can, it allows you the time to improve your finance situation and possibly qualify for another option, such as a modification. That's where you complete your forbearance plan. And the modification, really, it just modifies the payment based on new terms. So it requires successful, yes. Sorry. So anyway, those plans are crazy. Tell me I have to pay 3 months of mortgage or rent in 1 month. I'm like, and I tell you that we're all going through problems and this is the solution that you offer. Nah, that's not good. Anyway, So where was I with this program, with the PPP program? Small businesses, okay. We need to get our acts together, okay? If you have a small businesses and you did not get in to this program, well, first of all, it's not our fault because they really messed up. But you need to be prepared. We all need to be prepared because this program is going to be funded again. And hopefully they're talking about doing it right this time, doing it right in that they're going to put smaller small businesses or sole proprietors and self-employed people and independent contractors, they're going to put those businesses in a different bucket so they're not swimming with those big, horrible shacks. Yeah, I said it. So right now, Congress are looking to pass another bill that's going to add 250 billion to the program, to the PPP program. And then supposedly they're going to caveat, I'm yet to get the details of this, but supposedly there's going to be a caveat. Either it's going to be out of the 250 or it's going to be an additional 125 billion that's going to be targeted specifically for small businesses, like the real small businesses. And I really wish they would stop calling those other folks, the folks with 500 and 400 employees. I wish they would stop referring to them as small businesses because they really are not small businesses. So what do you have to do now? You need to make sure that you have your books in order so that if you get another chance to apply for this program, you can take advantage of the program immediately. Okay? There are some folks that who are saying that if your application is not already with a bank or with a lender, you are not even going to get a peek at the replenishment funds. So if your application is already in with a lender or with a bank, there is a higher possibility that when the funds come through, you will get your PPP funds or your EIDL funds if you've already applied. However, if you have not applied, it's going to be a challenge, but I really want you to be prepared. If you are still waiting to put in your application, make sure you have everything that you need to get. And they're really making it really, really difficult, like I say, for those independent contractors and those freelancers. You know, we know that most businesses, most of the time, small businesses, they want to try and reduce their tax liability as much as possible. So most of the time, they're not showing any profit or they're showing very little profit. Unfortunately, this is a time when that's not a good practice because it's going to be detrimental because the calculation of your loan proceeds of the grant amount is based on your net income if you are self-employed. Okay, so you want to have your books done, your books in order. You want to have your bank statements available. Download your PDF copies. You know, if you have not yet done your tax returns, some banks are asking for tax returns, and that's another thing. All the banks, they're all asking for different things. Okay, if your bank has if they want a tax return, you need to make sure it's available so that you can get it in immediately and not miss out on this second round of stimulus funding because it's going to go really fast. The first funding, I told you, the first funding that opened up for the PPP program, that program opened up to accept applications on April 3rd. Guess when Ruth's Chris Steakhouse got their funding? So crazy. On the 6th. 3 days later, the biggest business, a big business with 5,000 employees got this funding. But while there's small churches, small non-for-profit organizations, just different businesses that need this funding and they've not been able to get close to it at all. Why did this happen? Gosh, we've got to take care of each other, folks. We have got to do this for each other. Okay? So, what can you do? Like I said, I want you to be proactive. If your books are not yet in order, get them in order. Reach out to your accountant, reach out to a local CPA, reach out to me, reach out to somebody and get your books in order. Get your documents in order. Prepare, go through the SBA, go to sba.gov. The SBA has a sample application on their website. You can go on my website as well, ohacpa.com. Get a sample of that, of the application, and fill it out so that when you get access to a lender, a bank, you can apply immediately and you know what to apply, so you don't spend time going back and forth. You can get the application in immediately. Okay. What else can you do? You can be proactive. I'm not usually into politics, but you need to call your Congress folks and tell them to pass that bill. Pass that bill, Congress folks. Come on, guys. What are you doing? You're trying to get cash in the hands of Main Street America, and you're giving it to the big guys. How does that help the little guy on Main Street? Main Street America does not equal a business with 5,000 employees. That does not equal a business with even 500 employees. Not in my definition. So get ready, be proactive, reach out to your Congress people. Let them know they need to add some more money into this stimulus package. I don't even want to go into the stimulus bills that they've passed for the big corporations, the other industries that have to survive, because if they do not survive, we're all going to crash, right? Okay. Well, we're all in this together. I don't have to lose just because you want to survive. You shouldn't have to lose because I want to survive. We all need to survive. We all need to get the economy back on track. But we should all get a fair shake at it. You know, don't stack the deck. Don't stack the deck against the small guys. Don't do that. Okay? So I could go on and on. I might get worked up. All right, so that's going to be it for now. Before I leave you, there is some other way that you could get immediate funds in your hands. If you have a retirement account and you want to tap into it, you know, I don't recommend it, but if you do want to tap into your retirement account, right now, the CARES Act did leave you an option to withdraw up to 100,000 from your retirement account. And also that 10% penalty is also eliminated. So if you got money out of your retirement, you won't have to pay that 10% penalty. I hope everybody is able to get that stimulus check, $1,200, but that's not going to go anywhere. You know, $1,200 for each adult taxpayer, that's already out the door. And unfortunately, there are other clients who exceed that threshold and have completely exceed the complete threshold. They have the upper threshold so that they don't even get anything, not even $10. Also, you're saying, well, they make a lot of money, so maybe they don't need it. But, that's unfair. It's just as it's unfair for the big guys to take away from the little guys. I don't want to take away from the big guys if it's something that's everyone's getting. If it's something that everyone's getting, yes, everybody should get it. But if something that the big guy is getting at the detriment of the little guy, no, please don't do that. Don't. That's just not cool. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop over here. I'm going to say bye to YouTube. Send a comment, make a comment, share this video, and next time, send me your questions. Send me your questions. I want to help everyone, or as many people as possible. Of course, I cannot help everyone. It's just me, myself, and I. But I want to help as many folks as I can. Whether you're an individual taxpayer or you're a business owner, a small business owner, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to help. I want to do my fair share. We all could use a helping hand. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers.